Welcome back to This Week in Weed. Pack that pipe and let's take a look at this week's top stories. The administration of the synthetic cannabinoid agonist HU-211 decreases nerve cell death in an in vitro model of ethanol withdrawal, according to data published online in the Journal of the Public Library of Science. Researchers demonstrated that cannabinoid administration protected neurons from cell death in an experimental model of ethanol withdrawal. By contrast, the administration of a cannabinoid antagonist during ethanol withdrawal greatly increased the likelihood of cell death. These observations show, for the first time, that the stimulation of the endocannabinoid system could be protective against that hyperexcitability developed during alcohol withdrawal, investigators concluded. By contrast, the blockade of the endocannabinoid system seems to be counterproductive during alcohol withdrawal. In humans, the abrupt cessation of alcohol in dependent subjects may be associated with tremor, delirium, brain damage, and death. Separate preclinical trials have previously documented that the administration of the non-psychotropic organic cannabinoid, cannabidiol, in laboratory animals is neuroprotective against cerebral infarction and ethanol-induced neurotoxicity. In 2009 and 2010, a pair of studies conducted by investigators at the University of California, San Diego reported that the consumption of cannabis may offset certain alcohol-induced brain abnormalities, including the loss of white matter integrity and memory in human subjects with a history of both alcohol and marijuana use. Former United States Labor Secretary Robert Reich voiced his strong support for ending criminal prohibition of cannabis during an online forum. Reich was asked by an audience member, if you could eliminate a single federal regulation and replace it with some other regulation, or nothing at all, what would it be and why? He responded, I'd start by legalizing marijuana. Reich made his comments last week on the popular website reddit.com. Reich served as the Secretary of Labor under former President Bill Clinton. He is presently a professor of public policy at the University of California at Berkeley. Kalamazoo voters will decide this November on a municipal initiative that seeks to make the possession of an ounce or less of marijuana by adults aged 21 or over the city's lowest law enforcement priority. The initiative is modeled after a similar measure that was enacted by Seattle voters in 2003. A review of that measure in 2008 reported that the implementation of the ordinance was associated with a reduction in local law enforcement costs and no evident increase in marijuana use among youth and young adults. Voters in Tacoma, Washington will also vote on a similar proposal this fall. Michigan Governor Rick Snyder and Attorney General Schuett have spoken out against the measure. Separate deprioritization measures have previously been approved by voters nationwide, including voters in Oakland, California, and Denver, Colorado. Since 1972, the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan has imposed a local ordinance classifying minor marijuana possession as a civil infraction rather than a criminal misdemeanor, as it is called for under state law. In 2008, 63% of Michigan voters approved Prop 1, which legalized the limited use and cultivation of cannabis by patients who possess a physician's recommendation. That was This Week in Weed. Thanks for watching, and tune back in next Thursday for the newest episode.